Hi, I'm Olivia.
And I'm Kelly, and this is a Court of Theories podcast,
where we deep dive all things ACOTAR, Throne of Glass, and Crescent City.
This podcast contains spoilers. So, Casey pulls up this video, and it's this person there's a dip that you can make from Christmas tree cakes.
Ew.
Okay, well, you don't like them, but it's delicious. Okay? So he starts putting this up, and they're like, just like breaking up the Christmas tree cakes. And it's like Christmas tree cakes, like a little bit of milk, the Cool-Whip. Cool-Whip. And it's that stuff. And he holds his phone to my face, and he's like, why do you never make this stuff for me? And I looked at him and I said, motherfucker, I made that shit Christmas 2020. That was COVID Christmas tree dip. That's what I literally fucking made. Took it to mom's house, had it in a Christmas bowl, laid out a goddamn dessert charcuterie board of like cookies and shit to dip into that. And I was like, I made that for you. And you know what he did? He looked at me dead ass in the eyes and said, no, you didn't. Bitch, you bet. I went through my albums and I found where it was like everything was in the mixer at our house. And then it was in the bowl on the charcuterie board. And you know what he said? You know what he did? He looked at me and said, I don't remember that. I'm like, clearly.
I can identify with him.
You know what? Then you know what he followed up with? You don't make it enough. Okay. You know what? We're done. I am never going to let you have Christmas tree cakes ever again. But I want to know.
I'm a little bit sad because I'm not sad.
Why?
I mean, I'm a little bit sad because I thought, oh, I've never seen this. I'm a genius. So I started like Googling stuff, and then I come up with this post that's huge, and I'm like, wow, this is a lot of the stuff I was thinking about. This is amazing. I've read like 2,000 words at this point, and I'm like, who wrote this post?
You know exactly who wrote this post. You know what? You don't have to say anything else. You mean you didn't know when you were 2,000 words deep into this that it's motherfucking Emily's Theories? Emiego?
Yeah.
Our bitch?
It is.
What's she got to tell me? What you going to tell me that she told me? Tell me.
Let's do the first thing first. The worm thing.
Yeah.
This
we
isn't like
are worms. Also... I love your bookmark. Tell me about your bookmark that you have in that book.
This is special. It's called a dog ear bookmark. It's leather, made by Case Leatherworks, and it has my initials in it.
Oh, that's
so
sweet.
pretty.
Ah, made just for you by Case Leatherworks. Go to caseleatherworks.com and receive 10% off of your order with order code theories at caseleatherworks.com.
That's the plug. This I had not noticed. This isn't like a theory. This is just like looky there. Just more proof of how interwoven these universes are. On page 187 of House of Earth and Blood, Rune he's not saying it. We're just like seeing thoughts.
Right.
About the ordeal. Like he's like thinking about his own. He's thinking about when he pulled the Star Sword and all that crap, how he had to fight off Cormac and all that.
R.I.P.
Here's the couple sentences that I highlighted.
Okay.
The ordeal in itself varied depending on the person. For some, it might be as simple as overcoming an illness or a bit of personal strife. For others, it might be slaying a worm or a demon.
God damn. Fucking Feyre. Was he going to start talking about bone swords?
Well, not yet.
You're like, there was this illiterate 19-year-old.
No, but I was thinking... Because in Crescent City, all the Fae go to the Oracle and they have like their futures told or whatever. And then they have their ordeal and then they can make the drop or whatever. Did Feyre not summon a Suriel so he could tell her like what to do in the future? Like stay with the High Lord, like blah, blah, blah. And then did she not go kill a worm? And so she essentially also had like an Oracle visit and an ordeal. And clearly they have remembered her ordeal because it's being passed down. And it's here.
Yeah, because a little illiterate human girl kicked that worm's ass and also caught a Suriel, though, and everybody's, you can't do that. Guess what? I'm going to put this chicken right out here. Get that extra salmonella all up in there for that Suriel. And then I'm going to fight off a worm, which also Googling a picture of a worm, so scary.
So scary. Not at all like the Alaskan bullworm from SpongeBob.
But so whenever you texted me worm, so Googling a worm. So for people that, again, like the Alaskan bullworm from SpongeBob, just to interject for just a second, I Googled worms because I was like, okay, I want to see, it's basically as far as fantasy creatures go, what a worm is actually classified as. Because it's one of those where it's like, what the fuck is it actually? Because again, when we all read ACOTAR, if you did not picture the worm in SpongeBob,
right,
you're lying.
Yeah.
You're lying. So it's actually classified with dragons. So a dragon has 2 wings and 4 legs. A wyvern has 2 wings and 2 legs. A drake has no wings and 4 legs. A worm has no wings and no legs. And it is in mythology and fantasy. So it's a huge limbless and wingless dragon or dragon-like creature. And it is also compared to a sea serpent. And then kind of the last thing I really looked at is a basilisk considered a dragon? Was a question that came up on Google.
What the hell's that?
So a basilisk is a giant snake. And a basilisk, for all of my HP listeners out there, we all know that Harry killed the basilisk. Okay. And so it says, over history, the basilisk has been depicted as a serpent, a lizard, and hybrid creatures generally composed of the head of a rooster, tail of a serpent, and sometimes wings of a dragon, though its appearance changes depending on its source. In other stuff that I saw it in mythologies and with worms basically having no wings and no legs, with it considered a serpent, but it still fell under the dragon family, then I posed the question, is the Viper Queen a worm? And is that why Ariadne went to her? Because if worms are in the dragon family and Ariadne's a dragon, is that why she was drawn to go to the Viper Queen? Because how else would she know to go to the fucking Viper Queen?
Are you saying she's like a shifter or something?
Maybe. We don't know a lot about her. Also, she is very shifty. Let's be honest. She's a trickster. Anyways, whenever you just texted me in all caps worm, I was like, oh, what are we going to talk about? And then I was like, and then of course I had to Google what it looked like because it's scary. That's my little like take around, especially Rune mentioning worms. Is the Viper Queen?
I think they're just talking about Feyre.
I mean, they might be, but I was also just, listen, I was building on it. What is I want to know a lot more about her. Anyways, that's all I have to contribute. Now I'm going to eat my Christmas tree cake and you're going to tell me a story by Emily Ego.
Not really a story. I'm just like kind of, I haven't found exactly what I'm looking for, and I could be wrong. I could not have all my facts in a row because I went looking for a lot of this stuff and didn't necessarily find it. Okay. So for example, when we talk about like the Star Sword, Starborn, let's talk about star people.
Okay.
Rune and his dad, the Autumn King. Yeah, he's a dude. When we first meet the Autumn King, I don't even know the context. He's telling him Bryce didn't have anything to do with the Maximus Tertian murders. And I told you to warn her to stay quiet. And then Rune says something about checking in on his mom. And the Autumn King's like, I'm busy. You tell her or whatever. And then Rune's like, you don't have a relationship. You bred her like a mare and sent her out to pasture. Cinders sparked through the room. You benefited quite well from that breeding, Starborn. Okay, but then that had me thinking. Because Rune, in another page, it's around here somewhere. Oh, right here. 154, Rune was one of about a dozen Fae princes across the whole planet Midgard and had met most of the others over the decades. But he stood apart as the only Starborn among them, among all the Fae. Which obviously we learn later on, so is Bryce. But what if they're not Starborn from the Autumn King? If Rune looks just... Okay, so the Autumn King has red hair just like Bryce. But Rune is dark. And we now know that Rune looks exactly like Rhys. And we know jack shit about his mom, but that she lives in Avalon which is real close to the Northern Rift where they all walked in through. Okay. So if that's the Dusk Court, which we have theorized in the past that they walked through the Dusk Court, they were trapped into Midgard through that.
We read Bible scripture about that.
Yeah. And Thea. So Thea and her descendants were sent through and trapped. Okay. I have a feeling that a lot of them are Valen Fae. I don't know. Of course they could move, but like you have a feeling that they're probably going to settle like relatively closely to where they were dumped. I could be wrong. But anyways, I'm thinking, what if Bryce and Rune have starborn powers through their moms instead of their dad? And you're like, that's weird. Why would they both have starborn powers? Whatever. But I'm thinking, okay, think about Ember's description, her physical description. She has dark hair, just like Rune. Like it, basically the way they're described in the book, I didn't write that down, but basically how they're described in the books is like Rune could look like he could be related to Ember essentially. So I'm like, if the Star Sword belonged to Thea, not Peleus, and Rune, because Rune thought he got that from Peleus, but then they find out Adis tells them that it was Thea's light, and Thea's light is what Bryce has, but the Autumn King doesn't have it. Rune's mom, it sounds like she's been sent to live in a cage, essentially. He says she doesn't like use a TV or microwave or anything. So she seems like...
Which is very like... like what we call like cloak and dagger. She's not about using that stuff.
Right. But then the way the Autumn King is like, you were a part of that breeding. And then also, why the fuck would he go after a human? Why the fuck would he be interested in Ember? Which we've asked this question before. Yeah. Like, why would he be interested in her? And also, is there not a line that talks about the power still running through a human line that has been lost? So what if it's the moms that have the starborn lineage?
Yes, I don't disagree with you. Sorry.
I don't really have answers. I don't have a fully formed theory. I just wanted to like bring up these points I'm finding and see what you had to say.
Okay, so I was just processing what you said because I'm convinced that the Autumn King is a descendant of Azris, or in some way, shape, or form related more to Azris than to anyone else, just based on like descriptions and then just personality. Also, I just am very convinced that it's an Azris descendant. And the more we learn about Azris, and I think the Autumn King he's clearly very self-motivated and power hungry, and he wants that back. Also, why is he called the Autumn King and there's no other seasonal king? I think that is brought down. He has to be in some way, shape, or form related to Azris. Can you imagine? They all come into Crescent City, the Akatar, they all come in, and there's that moment where I imagine in like a superhero movie where the whole group is like running, and then like they like come over the crest of a hill, and then there stands the Autumn King, and they're all like, brrr, and they're like, what the fuck is Azris doing here?
Oh, God.
And then, that's just what I picture. We haven't really dove into this theory, but we have definitely brought it up before, and I have it like saved to do a big breakdown about the Archeron sisters being starborn.
Yeah. I do still believe that.
Yes. But we don't know enough about their parents to decipher, was it Mama Archeron or Papa Archeron? But with it being that like all three of them could possibly be starborn and all three being female, who's to say?
I was going to say, again, people, you might think, okay, the Archerons were human. Yeah, but first of all, her name is Feyre.
Feyre.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just for all of you that might have missed it.
Yeah. And whenever she goes under the mountain, Amarantha makes a comment about her name being an old Fae name, essentially. Yes. And Feyre internally is like, I'm so glad she didn't ask my family name. Why?
Why
would that matter?
Exactly.
Also, you sent a thing about it this week. I don't know that we've talked about it on the podcast, and I remembered it, but I also thought, I didn't look it up, but I wanted to do that. But you talked about Papa Archeron carving whirls and swirls into the door or whatever. I almost thought that Feyre says he paid someone to do that. It was thought to protect against fairies or something. And she was like, I don't think it did shit.
Clearly, Tamlin was just like, rah!
Regardless, it's likely like word marks.
Yes. And honestly, it could just be very poorly done where it was some like major magistrate from out in Timbuktu that was like, oh, I know all these. And they're not even like real word marks, but he just saw them probably in an old book from Terracin that they found in some library. But yeah, that blew my mind. But
so we don't know shit about Mama Archeron. We know that Nesta hated their dad because he didn't send help to get her when she was sick. But then Nesta also makes a comment about how her mom loved her dad, like the only one she loved or something like that.
Yeah.
But then she also gets mad because she says that like her mom had contempt for her dad for them losing their fortune. And whenever she died, Nesta felt like she picked that up and continued carrying it essentially. And
which sounds, I'm just going to sidebar. That sounds like a very like witch thing. Like,
that's true.
Yeah. Passing on from female to female.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just sounds very.
There's like a lore in the fandom like, oh, he lost his fortune because of a bargain. Like they made a bargain. That's why she got sick and they lost their fortune and all this stuff. And like, I think that's very plausible. And then you think about that. And so whenever Papa Archeron goes to the continent.
Right.
And then comes back with not only Vasa, but all these ships and shit right on time. Like, what could he have possibly said to Koschei to allow him to release Vasa?
Exactly. Who was he? Even if it wasn't necessarily what he said, who was he for him to walk in because it...
or have anything that Koschei would want.
Exactly. Because he is this powerful, and we've talked about him in so many facets of who he could be, who clearly he's very powerful that he can trap Vasa and to this lake, and for him to let her be free. Papa Archeron, either because of Mama Archeron, was like, oh, okay, or he himself, they both could have been something. Mm-hmm. And it could have very well, Papa Archeron could have been in like an Aelin sense. Aelin suppressed all of her when the magic fell in Throne of Grass. She suppressed it in her other, basically her shifted form was a human form. That being something that could happen, why would that be any different with Papa Archeron? And if he lost it in a bargain or whatever the bargain could be, he's stuck in this human form. But then he's still able to show up and be like, I'm Papa Archeron, blah, 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 blah. And Koschei's, holy shit, what's up? You're the Shaquille O'Neal of the Fae world. Yeah, let's go. You can have Vasa for a hot minute. Go let her start a throuple and then come home. But I think that at some point there had to be some pull between either Papa Archeron or Mama Archeron. But it could very well have been more Mama Archeron because... again, with the witches, it's passed like female to female. So why would it not be possible for Mama Archeron? And maybe she was in some point, because if we were basing it off of Throne of Glass, I really tried to say it right that time. Throne of Glass is the past, ACOTAR is the present, and Crescent City is the future. If we're looking at it in that universal like timeline, then we're passing on from the witches in Throne of Glass. We don't really see a lot of witches. You have like the healers and you have those, but you don't really have like, quote unquote witches like we see with Manon, but maybe that was like a transitional thing where they become more like the Clothos and then you come back into Crescent City where it's like a resurgence of actual witches like Hypaxia, and it goes from woman to woman through the ages. Maybe Starborn is woman to woman through the ages, and then maybe that's why the Oracle, because if Feyre is Starborn and then Rhys is Rhys, the most powerful High Lord of the Night Court, and they're bing, bang, boom.
But why is he the most powerful High Lord?
I don't know. Did I send you that art of his like beast form with Feyre in front of it?
Yeah.
That is pretty bitchin'. If that's... anyways. And then whatever
I've seen another one that I actually really liked because the beast form looked scarier. Hang on.
Ooh, send it to me. I like a good scary beastie form. But... and I'm just talking through this because it's... okay, so if Feyre came from... clearly her family name was going to... is going to be something. And then we don't know Reese's.
This is the one I was talking about.
Don't send me an ew. But.
Oh, damn it. That's a video. Hang on.
Oh, we don't know videos. And then they're obviously like, then they have Nick's. And so then they have combined what could essentially be, obviously Reese is very powerful, but for Feyre to have a powerful family bloodline. And then, yes, it got passed to Nick's, but then maybe post Nick's just has, I have seen that one. You're right. I'm obsessed.
Okay, hang on. There's something else I want to show you. Do you want to see do you want to see a screenshot from Sarah's deleted Pinterest board of some kind of, she literally just saved it to the board called A Court of Thorns and Roses, but it's some kind of hellhound. This is scary.
I'm ready. Okay, I have also seen that because people were losing their minds because it's basically a depiction of, oh my gosh, what's the Egyptian god?
No, but it's real scary.
No, it is really scary. Anubis. So that's basically a depiction because it's an Egyptian god, funerary practices, and the care of the dead. And it's represented by a jackal or of a man with the head of a jackal. But it is that creepy, yeah, you're right, hellhoundy. And I'm obsessed. And I think that definitely might play more into Crescent City or like the vibe of the demons that come back, because that is like the Crystallos. Like I see them. I mean, I know that there's lots of like really scary, but in a way it's like that, but a little bit more terrifying. I will definitely have to link these two versions of Reese's beast form and then the scary jackal. Anubis. But anyways, so maybe the family line between Feyre and Rhys got down to where it's, Ember in some way, shape, or form, because Ember is described where it says her physical description is Ember looks a lot like her daughter Bryce. She has long black hair with freckled skin, full lips, high cheekbones, and dark eyes. Which, I mean, Bryce has her red hair, but I don't know. I feel like her physical description, those darker elements of her, why could that not be from the Starborn side of things? And then also for it to be passed on, because not necessarily it's strictly female to female descendants, but maybe that's why also the Oracle is like the family line ends with Rune.
Here's an interesting line in this. It's actually a Reddit post. Oh, shit.
You did it again. It's going to be 5 years before you don't touch anymore.
Okay.
You're done.
I need like a headset or something.
What, like a headgear?
Yeah.
Where
I can't screw this up.
like Hannibal Lecter I feel like attaches it to your face.
When I listen to my episodes, I'm like, Olivia, you're too far away from the mic. I move a lot.
It's like, yes, I know.
That's what I'm saying.
What if I like headgeared it to your face? What if I had Casey make a leather like horse harness? It's very kinky.
Absolutely not.
That fits onto your face. And then my brain went.
Sorry, Jameson. I'll be late tonight. Casey's fitting me for a leather mask. I don't think so.
No, a leather face harness.
It doesn't sound better. It sounds
Jameson
worse.
would be like, how can I hook that to our new headboard?
He would be so embarrassed if he ever listened to this.
Casey has to hear it sometimes in real time. I was like, why don't you ever listen to our episodes? He said, I literally hear it.
I was there when it was written.
Some nights I can't go to sleep because
Aww.
He's fine. He's not even here.
Okay, anyways.
Oh, sorry.
This is from the post from Emily that I am reading, that I got on because I was looking into stuff about the Starborn. And so she likens Bryce to Brannon. Brannon had brandy colored eyes. Bryce has whiskey eyes. Brannon had red hair. Bryce has red hair. Both are described as having golden skin, which is interesting. But this is what I want to share. It says, further, it is presumed that Bryce and Rune inherited the Starborn powers from their father's line. What power does their father have? Fire, just like Brannon. Cormac, who is also connected to all of this, as Bryce's star glows for him, also curiously has fire powers.
I just had a thought and it's when you said golden skin. What if it's Lucian and Elaine? And if Elaine is starborn,
That'd be good.
and then she doesn't reject the mating bond, and because also with Lucian, and we've talked about this.
So maybe she doesn't want to hook up with. Okay, we've talked about this. Like Elaine sees something bad in their future, so she doesn't want to be with Lucian because of that. What if she knows that her kids get trapped in Midgard, or that they get stuck in Midgard?
Right, maybe it's not necessarily anything in their lifetime that is bad. It's so much farther into the future.
I guess we'll find out if Elaine just passes out in the beginning of Flame and Shadow after she sees Bryce. After she's seen Bryce.
I mean, because
okay, but I'm not done.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. One more little thing.
We'll come back to Lucian.
Okay, so we said Cormac also has those powers, which interestingly, Cormac's last name is Donnell. Isn't that Rune's mom's last name? Donnell?
Yeah, because they're cousins.
So there's fire on both sides. So my theory about like it being maybe their moms still holds. Okay.
Yeah.
Additionally, it is repeatedly mentioned throughout Crescent City 2, Sky and Breath, that Bryce is yet to learn the full extent of her power. But what more could the power of a star possibly do? If we know Mala Firebringer from Throne of Glass, if we know Mala's raw power takes the form of a star, and therefore so does Aylin's, does this mean that Bryce's full power is the same as Aylin's?
Yes, 100%. Because
the reason we do not know the last names of many ACOTAR High Lords is because they descend from Throne of Glass characters.
Absolutely.
I'm fully on board.
Fully on board with that. And I think we talked about that probably across multiple episodes.
Because ACOTAR, no last name. Like nobody has a last name.
Barely.
Crescent City, more people do.
Yes.
In Throne of Glass, we love a last name.
Oh my.
Aelin, Ash River, Galathinius, Whitethorn, something. I think I got those out of order.
Yeah. Either way, there's so many that you just can't keep them quite in the right order. And also, if we want to add in Selena Sardothian or...
Yeah, they say Selena Sardothian in the audiobook.
I was scared. I was like...
No, you're good.
I was like, that's how I read it.
I was going to say, that is something that
it's a mouthful.
I have to listen to some audiobook of anything because I need to know how things are pronounced. Aelin, Ash River, Whitethorn, Galathinius. I did say that out of order.
You did, but still, you know what? I'm going to give you that was close enough, like in horseshoes and hand grenades, because number one, not only does she have a bajillion last names, just a bajillion names, they're all really long. Mm-hmm. We're not throwing in like an Anne or a Wells or what, an easy portion of a name. Like I used literally two of mine as an example. But what if it's Lucian and Elaine? Because he's split between Lady Autumn and Helion. Day and Autumn.
They could have that
golden skin. He's got
fire, that star.
And then we've got Elaine, who we will talk about it because it's a really big theory of the Archeron sisters being starborn. And I've read through it to
this next book has to be Elaine's, right?
Oh, for ACOTAR?
Yeah.
First off, homegirls, you should know. And I'm like,
I know, but
I'm like, so is it an Azriel, Lucian, Elaine POV? Are we getting 3? Or are we just getting Elaine and Azriel? Because if we do that, but then also, or is it in Elaine, Lucian, Azriel, Gwen?
I know, but I guess she could go another way and like it be like Azriel's book or something, but it would just be weird to have 4 favorite books, 1 Nesta book, and then
Azriel.
Yeah.
But why? He does have the biggest wingspan. He could have his own book.
Yeah.
Also, I know he's the kinkiest in bed.
Sarah has said that he is.
Can you imagine those scenes? Jesus Christ. He's like, come with me, Gwen. Oh, I just gave up. Yeah. What? Elaine? What? Sorry. Huh? Anyways, I've like blown my own mind though about the Lucian and Elaine thing. What if?
Could be. And that makes me think because Emily definitely has a theory about Lucian and Elaine being some statues in Crescent City.
Yes.
Based on Elaine saying the whole, I can hear your heart beat in the stone. Can you hear mine?
It's so creepy. That line is just so creepy. Like, even without really reading, like first time reading through it, diving in through theories, my mind went that just being entombed in general, regardless of
Yeah.
statues. Oh my
But
God.
then, yeah, okay, yeah. And then Feyre's, there's people in the stone
Yes.
in the prison.
Yes.
They totally get stuck in Midgard.
Yes.
They totally do.
They'd almost have to, because those are two separate references about
different books.
voices. Yeah, voices in the stone.
And then Bryce says that she feels like those statues are watching her.
Yes.
Like they're alive.
So that's 3 books.
Oh, God.
3 books. Also, I can't
Shit
remember.
like this just makes me crazy. Okay, so my sister started reading ACOTAR this week. My sister is a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Huge. So she like keeps texting me. She's, oh, this sounds just like blah, blah, blah from Lord of the Rings. And I'm like,
You're like, I don't know what that means.
I don't. But I'm just like, I'm not saying that she didn't draw inspiration from Lord of the Rings, but I know that Tolkien and Sarah have both pulled a ton from mythology.
Yes.
So I'm like, it could be from the same mythologies, but I don't know. Anyways, my sister's like, if I was watching my dad get beat up, I don't think I would shit myself. And I'm like, I get it. And I said, yeah, that's a joke and like the fandom or whatever, the watery bowels thing. But I'm like, I like to think of it as like a roiling stomach. Like she's getting nauseated.
Right.
Like
it's more of that, like whenever something is that oh shit moment. And like whenever they talk about
I like to think she's not actually shitting her.
Like your stomach drops.
Yeah.
You get that dropped feeling, that crampy feeling. Like because it, again, as someone with a lot of anxiety, that it lives in your gut.
Yeah.
I mean, it just takes a second.
Enough about poop.
Never enough about poop.
Anyways, I keep telling Madeline, I was telling her yesterday, I'm like, it pisses me off whenever I see people saying that Sarah is not a genius.
I know.
That all this stuff is like coincidence or it's so convenient how she makes this blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's not convenient. She plans stuff so thoroughly. I need to look this up. I was scrolling Reddit the other day on my phone and I saw it is. I try not to even engage on there because I get so angry. But I saw something and it was like, please convince me to keep reading Crescent City. And I get so sick of those posts.
I talk about it.
I don't think anybody responded.
I talk about it all the time.
I'm not logged in. That's why.
Oh, so everyone's going to respond and they're coming for you and they're going to come burn our houses down.
It's possible.
But it just kills me. And I know I've said this, and God bless it to our one listener that loves us. Thanks, Rebecca. We love you, and we're so happy that you listen to us. And
your Instagram message this week just came at like the absolute perfect time. We really needed that.
We really needed that. And we just appreciate the fact that someone appreciates the work that we do for this, because we've poured ourselves into this. And granted, it's a labor of love because we love obviously the Massiverse and
we're enjoying it, but I'm really glad that somebody else is enjoying it too.
Yes. It just makes it just all those hours of editing just makes it so nice that someone really appreciates it. So thanks, Rebecca.
Let me read you this post.
Oh, no.
Convince me not to DNF House of Sky and Breath. Guys, I'm stuck. I'm about to start chapter 28 and I feel like we are just trudging on through filler. I'm close to DNF. Is it worth staying till the end?
Yes, you stupid
Listen,
bitch.
This is what I commented. Sarah's books are long, but there's no filler. All of it is important, but it won't always be obvious in the moment. And then I bounced out of there. I got 2 upvotes. I bet I have 1,000 downvotes.
Oh, it hasn't. After so many, does it just stop showing you? Like,
no, like it. Like
I'm kidding.
It like does a net. If you get 100 upvotes but 99 downvotes, it looks like you have 1 upvote.
Oh, no.
It's like a net. Yeah. I bet I have a lot of downvotes.
Yeah, but at least you're in the positive.
I was nice about it.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, you're a dumbass.
Oh.
You learn how to read critically, you dumb bitch.
Yeah,
I didn't say that.
Oh.
I didn't say that, even though that was probably what I said out loud in my house.
That's why I was, that whenever it's like, should I DNF? And I was like, no, bitch. Like,
this one person, I personally didn't like Hosab in its entirety. I don't think 4 pages are worth it to change my mind completely over a book, but that's just me.
But, is she talking about the ending?
Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
I'm sorry again. And we have talked about this over multiple episodes. I'm sorry that your
Somebody else
theoretical
comments
thinking skills are trash.
The eye roll emoji. Read it, don't read it. Every day with this shit.
Yeah. Wait, did I post that comment?
So good.
It's, you know what? Again, critical thinking skills. Also, it's massive world building. Also, everybody that is like, I'm going to sit through 37 3-hour-long movies that involves massive world building across a multiverse, but yet you can't sit down and shut the fuck up and read a goddamn book for the exact same effect. Use your fucking imagination, you pieces of shit.
Listen to this comment. In my opinion, and many others, Throne of Glass doesn't get good until Heir of Fire. And my God, does it get good. Kingdom of Ash might be my favorite SJM book. Empire of Storms is incredible. Queen of Shadows, Chef's Kiss, and Heir of Fire is excellent. But P.S. I DNF'd Assassin's Blade, and it was fine. No, it wasn't, bitch.
No, it wasn't. You missed a lot. There is so much shit that you read through those books.
I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Get out of there. That you missed. Well, that's just like today. Okay. Just while we're just talking about threads of things, you sending me today, the person that commented that, and I don't know what the video was on Instagram because you just screenshotted me, but the people that are like, fuck this fucking post for just going straight into with no fucking spoiler warnings and like
for a Throne of Glass
for
book.
a Throne of Glass book. And someone, and I see that you liked it, and someone said, y'all, the books have been out for a decade. You don't need spoiler alerts. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to trust but verify when these were fucking sent. And then, of course, my response to you was very long that I said I was going to curb stomp this bitch's ass. But Throne of Glass was published in 2012.
Yeah.
It is 2023. We're about to be in 2024. And KOA...
If you haven't read it, that's fine. I just read the Throne of Glass series this year.
That's fine.
But if I saw spoilers, I wasn't going to get mad.
Well, also, you know what? That moment that's... Also, Kingdom of Ash was in 2018. It's almost 2024. You know what? Again, if you haven't read it, but you've never read Lord of the Rings. But I'm sure that... Number one, your sister sends you...
She sends me memes all the time.
All the time. And you're like, I don't understand it. But so the moment that you would ever read or like watch Lord of the Rings, you'd be like, holy shit.
I was going to say, I do research the context a lot of times.
You're like, holy shit.
And so I do know some references and I try to send them to her because I'm like, I feel like
you're trying to... Yes. Yeah. I see what you're trying to do.
She said something the other day and I was like... You have my sword.
Anyways. She was like, you are trying for me.
Yes,
but
I am.
I'm like, first off, no one, if the book has been, if it's been within like, honestly, for me, 8 months, I'm going to skip over 6 months because it's like, sometimes we've seen, especially whenever the supply chain issues and that really did affect books being printed and not necessarily being able to get your hands on stuff, the economy. So sometimes it takes people just a smidge longer to get to some books. So I'm going to give you 8 months. After 8 months and you're on fucking Instagram and you come across something that someone has probably hilariously posted about that might contain a spoiler, you can go fuck yourself. Because at that point, if you are actively still on Bookstagram or especially Bookstagram, and you have not gotten into what is a popular book, then you know what? You deserved that spoiler at that point. If you're that invested in Bookstagram, or you look at something, you're like, whoa, and you just keep going.
Yeah.
You
can't be mad about it.
Don't be a freaking bitch about a book that came out when the last book in that series came out in 2018. Are you kidding me? People, I'm like, you know what? I hate everyone. I hope everyone chokes.
Thanks for listening.
Oh,
not you guys.
Not you guys. I did just pull up Bookstagram. Oh God, Amazon updated their stock photo of Iron Flame.
I saw that drama.
And it doesn't have sprayed edges on it.
And people are pissed and freaking out.
Someone put on here, so it's the Spicy Reader on Instagram, and I like her. But yes, never seen a collective group lose their minds faster. And then it says edited to add, you will still get your sprayed edges copy if that's what you pre-ordered. Sure. That's what they said for the fourth wing too. And people got regular edges. I saw a ton of people that they were like, well, I pre-ordered this. And then they got with Amazon customer service and Amazon was like, sorry, we ran out. Or it was people that pre-ordered it. And basically it's whenever you get fucked because in like elementary school, because you're towards the end of the alphabet. Oh wait, that was my entire life. And you didn't get what, like, oh man, I want this flavor of whatever the fuck, because my last name started with a goddamn W. Yeah. I never got anything good. So it's like whenever Amazon did it the first time, people were like, no, I pre-ordered this as soon as I could. And they're like, sorry, you missed out. And they're like, what also, do you mean?
I have no dog in this fight. I don't care about those books, but
it's not necessarily those books. It's the spray.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
That's but just the book that it happened.
Can we talk about the Fourth Wing Holiday Edition? That's super limited print, but they've been taking pre-orders for 2 months now.
Oh my god!
And quit advertising it. It's obviously not a limited print.
And like Books A Million.
Yes, they're like the biggest.
Yeah, they're the biggest one that is really pushing that. It's so limited. I think a lot of people are just really pissed off about it. And also, I don't think that the pre-orders are selling because as much as I think they thought they would, because, okay, so it has like those 2 bonus chapters in it. In Zayden's point of view, she's literally going to post those to her website. So people are like, then I don't need the book. Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing with Flame and Shadow. Everybody's like pissed off that all the different chapters, which I get, but yeah, Bloomsbury's going to publish, like, they're going to be online.
And even if they don't, there are some magical, wonderful people that post the bonus chapters for everyone. I think that, I can't remember what episode it is, but literally in our show notes is the link to all of the bonus chapters for, I think, just all the bonus chapters that she has put out so far, which, like, Flame and Shadow, there's a bajillion and 5. Literally every edition is a new bonus chapter. Yeah. It's a whole new book of just bonus chapters, which I love. I'm here for it. As a physical book lover, we've all found ourselves in major need of a bookmark when we've been rudely interrupted while reading. Interruptions like your job, your needy pets and family, or your spouse wanting to tell you all about a random thing that they've been doing, all while you're at a really good part. Don't they see that we're reading? And in those moments, we've all found ourselves having to grab for a receipt, a post-it note, a scrap of paper, or the absolute worst, dog-earing your page. Well, in those moments, Case Leatherworks has you covered. Their dog ear bookmark fits perfectly over the corner of your page, so you never lose your place. Their products are made with top-grain American leather in a variety of colors, and you have the option to customize your bookmark with your initials. Along with their bookmarks, they offer a variety of home good products that's perfect for any reading nook. Support small business by visiting caseleatherworks.com, and our listeners will receive 10% off your first order by using code THEORIES at checkout. That's offer code THEORIES at caseleatherworks.com. So while you're doing that, I will say that I did look up the fairy wards on Farah's door.
Oh, yeah. Did he pay for those?
Okay. The user is Smart Llama. Says, so I'm rereading ACOTAR for the second time. Oh, this was a year ago. I was like, only the second time? It's a year ago. I've read every mass book this year, so lots of it is fresh in my mind. Since there is so much crossover / potential crossover, hey, this passage in chapter 2 of ACOTAR stood out. The traveler who carved wards around the Archeron household after trading for a Daddy Archeron wood carving.
I knew it.
The man, and then it's in quotes, so it says, the man claiming some high fade blood in his ancestry had just carved the whorls and swirls and runes around the door and windows. And then they put on here, could these be word marks? They are also whorls and swirls and runes that don't mean much to look at if you don't know what they are. Maybe in the coming books, Farah will be exposed to word marks and remembering these.
I like it.
I like it. So yeah, the man claiming some high fae blood in his ancestry. I know. I'm like,
Holland.
God, Jesus Christ. He was Hybern.
I like have that in my head. But he was like human. Actually, no, he was like probably Vol because of his dad.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that he was conceived after, I don't think it was ever outrightly said, but I'm pretty sure that he was conceived after the king was taken over.
Yeah, he was. It does say that.
Does it say it? Okay. I was
sure.
like, is it just implied, or did they say actually, like, once they realized that the king was not truly himself with a demon deep in his soul, just like me?
I really thought some of the stuff I brought today was going to be bigger revelation than it was.
Listen, I liked it though. I'm very convinced about Lucian and Elaine. That's the biggest takeaway for me.
I like it.
I'm theorizing that. It just, the way you look to me and you're like, what? Also though,
I do like it.
That picture that I sent you from SJM's now deleted Instagram, or not Instagram, shit, Pinterest. Oh, scroll please. Where it is Yaz, the bookish, put it on hers, that she had saved in an ACOTAR board, and it's literally Illusion.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's this drawn photo of this carved out goddess of a man who has scars across his eye, this long hair, and it's like charcoal sketched. And it's long hair that could possibly be red locks. And then he's holding a woman with basically like flowers braided into her hair, and it looks just like Elaine and Lucian. She's not going to reject the bond. I'm just so convinced that they're gonna figure it out, and then she's Starborn and he is, half autumn, half day, and then they're gonna go on, and then everything that's happening in Crescent City is all because she didn't reject the mating bond, but it was beautiful while they were alive. And I want them to have beautiful babies and not be trapped in stone. That's what I want. I don't want that.
I'm really interested to see like how this all plays out.
Bro. Us and 750,000 other people that pre-ordered this book.
Shut up. I just mean...
No, for real.
I just mean like the whole timeline thing between the 3 series.
Oh, for sure. I'd love to... I would just love to know how, because time is just a construct and it's not real. But yeah. I want to know Sarah's interpretation across her worlds. Is it really the past, present, future? Or is it like some weird sandwich of a universe between the 26 layers of Shrek's onion that is laying on top of each other?
Can they actually do anything to stop shitty stuff from happening? Like, I wonder what.
Yeah. Is it... And again, people that are just like, oh, it's a bunch of bullshit. There were 4 Spider-Mans in one movie. I'm not going to let it go, because I'm like, there's those people that are like, but yet they're going to go sit. And again, not shitting on the Spider-Man movies, not shitting on the Marvel universe, because listen, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that's intense. That is full breakdowns of stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know why that's any different than this.
Yep.
Can there be, what if there was 4 Nestas all at one time?
Terrible.
Oh God, there would be so many. God, she just really had this love for chopping off heads. And can you imagine she was the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. Off with their head. Done. Imagine 4 of them. Cassian would be like, it's just one Cassian and 4 Nestas. Bless him. That'd be better than that like threesome situation that we never got to read about because Bloomsbury decided to be a bunch of bitches and cut that out from the book Nesta's Daydream.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for that to just leak out.
It's a decent amount of fan art.
Oh, for sure. But also Team Azris forever and ever. The wild stuff, that video that you sent me. Okay. Let's talk about Azris for just a minute before we wrap things up. That wild video about it, that I can't remember who it was, that was just basically explaining the fact that in so many ways insinuating that Azriel and Eris are mates, because how they always be finding each other. And then just that deep-seated, because it's one of those when the male finds their mate, they go like insane. So when you have two males that might be mates, and she has talked about having more LGBTQ representation in her relationships and mates, think about it. How do they always be finding each other? How they always know what each other's doing? The way that Azriel barely responded to Tamlin whenever, you know, how you speak to my high lady, and then Eris like sneezes, and then he like tackles him across the table and has him in by the neck, and he's like gonna fucking carve his heart out. You know his dick was throbbing the whole time. It's honestly two closeted gay men that they just don't know how to bang it out with each other.
Is closeted.
You think he's closeted? You think he's not? His dad? You think?
I said he's the only one. Azriel, they're like, it's well known that Azriel hooks up with all kinds of people.
Oh, with everybody. Okay, no, you're right. Yeah, no, Eris is definitely closeted because Baron would have nothing to do with that. He watches Fox News and wears a red hat. Like, yeah. I said what I said. What? He does. Red hair, red hat. What do you want? Yeah, he had to match it. His glowing skin might be a little bit of an orange tinge. Neither here nor there. Self-tanner. But think about it. Like, the more I watched that, the more I was like, dear God.
That made me think, though, in Silver Flame, whenever Cassian and Azriel are waiting out for Eris when Queen Brialyn has him. Yeah, but Cassian is terrified that Nesta is dead. And Azriel's like, she's not. You would know.
Yeah, because of her being...
Does he say something similar about Eris?
I'm almost positive that... I think that it's right there. I was like, I think he does. And so that's why the Azris thing is not... People are like, it's a crack ship. But is it?
I don't know that it is.
I don't know that it is. And I think that maybe like Azriel, while not ever coming out, but basically he's bisexual. And then I don't think he'd ever be opposed to jumping into bed with Cassian and Nesta whenever they were all in the House of Wind together. I would. Sorry, Casey. But with that big hunk of a man and that insane woman asked me, I wouldn't say no. But yeah, there's just the way that she pointed it out in the video. There was so many moments that you're like, how do they... Because what was it? There was also something about that Eris was like, yeah, when I found your shadow singer or your spy in the woods, like he's supposed to be damn near impossible to find or to track. That's the whole point of him. He's been able to sneak into the human lands. He's been able to, like, other than the wards and stuff around the human queens, he's been able to get close enough to where no one has detected him. He's in the fucking woods in the Fey lands. How the fuck does Eris find him? No one else can see him or find him for days.
Yeah. I just read in the paperback of Silver Flame in 674, but he would know if Nesta were dead. In his heart, his soul, he'd sense it, would feel it, and mate always did, even if she'd rejected that bond. But that's not them talking. They do have a verbal back and forth about this. Right?
Yes. I'm almost positive, unless we made up some crack ship along the way.
Cassian says on 679 of the paperback, Brialyn has to know we're here. Cassian said, as he alit his latest aerial survey completed. You think she's waiting for us to make a move? I think the better question is if Eris is still alive, Azriel murmured, shadows whispering in his ear. I can't get a read on it. That's not really telling of anything. Cassian's, I told you the place is guarded with as many wards as the House of Wind. If Brialyn is moving Eris, we'll be better off catching him then. Maybe the merchant was wrong. A merchant had told Azriel that a red-haired fae went into the castle. Maybe. We'll continue surveillance through tomorrow. Azriel crossed his arms. I know you want to help Nesta. Maybe Amren can find some loophole in the laws. I swear Azriel tells him you would know if she was dead.
Oh my gosh. Googled Azriel and Eris mates. And then I found on Reddit where it says, y'all, Azriel's mate is Eris. Spoilers for the whole ACOTAR series below. It says, I don't think either Gwen or Elaine is Az's mates. Eris is. Hear me out. And it literally starts, Exhibit A. Okay. Okay, I see you. I see you. Exhibit A. Okay, Exhibit A. It's getting a redemption
I found
arc.
it.
Oh, you found it? Oh.
Cassian stared toward the castle. You think she's alive. The question haunted him with every breath these last few days. You'd know if she died, Azriel said, pausing his work and looking up at Cassian. He tapped his brother's chest with a scarred hand. Right here, you'd know, Cass. And he says there are plenty of other unspeakable things that could be happening to her, to Emery, to Gwen. The shadows deepened around Azriel, his siphons gleaming like cobalt fire. We trained them well, Cassian. Trust in that. It's all we can do.
Yeah, and I know that Azriel understands the concept of mates, but I don't know. There's just something so telling in that. I know, like, it reads as he's just being that reassuring brother that. But so this Reddit user, it's Reddit user Cad and Scoundrel. This was posted 2 years ago. Whoa. Okay, so Exhibit A, Eris is getting a redemption arc. They say it's glaringly obvious. He keeps hinting at a tragic backstory that could justify more, and Jasmine, he's been risking his skin to help Rhys and the greater good. God, the greater good. Keeping their secrets even before anyone threatens him, even when he's tortured. He hates all the snakes at the Autumn Court, including his brothers and his fathers, except for Lucian, whom he went out of his way to save. In Akawar, not all of us were so lucky in our family and friends as you, Rhysand. Then there's the scene with Cassian at the end of Akasif when Cass calls him a good male. More on that later. Team Night Court has already promised to help him take over the Autumn Court, so that will be one of the books. My guess is he'll need Nesta's political skills and Azriel's spine when he does. Nesta is going to be his wingman, forgive the pun, while they root out the bad factions there and Az and Eris fall in love, in the grand tradition of our favorite trope. Exhibit B, enemies to lovers. No one hates Eris more than Az, and we love an enemies to lovers story in this genre. The hatred Az carried for Eris is too intense not to turn into something. Helion even gave us the foreshadowing at the meeting of the High Lords and Lady in Akawar. He grinned at Azriel. You handing Eris's ass to him will be my new fantasy at night, by the way. We've gotten a hint that Eris feels particularly invested in forgiveness from one person among the inner circle. At the end of Akasif, when Cassian sees Eris at the Court of Nightmares, he asks why Eris left Mor in the woods. Eris responds, "You're not the person I want to explain myself to." Cassian assumes it's Mor, but Eris has said that Mor already knows why he did it, and then it says see below, so we'll get there. It could be that he wants to talk to Rhys.
Oh, I love that. No, it's definitely Azriel.
It could be that he wants to talk to Rhys, but since Rhys already works with him pretty easily, that doesn't seem hugely likely. He refused to explain it to Feyre and Akawar and said he doesn't care what she thinks of him. That leaves Az and Amren, the latter of whom has had almost no interaction with him. So really, he doesn't care about Amren. There's truly never really been an insinuation that he gives a shit about her. Not that he's, oh, I hate her, but just there is no relationship building for that. And then it says, so Eris wants to explain himself to Azriel because he loves him and he knows Az hates him. It wouldn't surprise me if Eris needles more because it's the way he can get Az to speak to him. And then it's Exhibit C, Eris is gay. And then it says, and he knows it.
The way you said it so deadpan was just like so funny.
SJM has given us hints when Eris talks about what happened with Mor. And I definitely, second read, picked up way more of this vibe than I did the first time. At the meeting with, how do you pronounce, is it Kier? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yep.
Okay. Because that's why I was like, hold on. Now you'll be like, no, it's Kier. And I'll be like,
they say Kier.
Okay, good. So at the meeting with Kier in the inner circle in Akawar, it says, I wouldn't have touched you, he said to Mor. I know why you did it. Again, that secret smile that had Mor shrinking. So I gave you your freedom, ending the betrothal in no uncertain terms. And then in Akasif, Eris nodded to where Mor watched them from beside. Sorry, this is very dark. Okay, hang on. Eris nodded to her more, watched them from beside Feyre and Rhys, her face neutral and aloof. She knows the truth, but has never revealed it because she is afraid of it. Both Eris and Mor grew up in societies obsessed with bloodline, where homosexuality was unacceptable. They have that thing in common, and he saw his own struggle in her. But she isn't comfortable enough with herself to extend the same empathy to him and clock why he might know her secret. Because he is also gay.
Yeah.
But what about when he asked to marry Nesta in Akasif? I hear you. Red herring. It's the easiest way to keep... This is me. It's the easiest way to keep Baron off of his back.
Yeah.
And then they go on to say he wanted her because she could be a perfect political asset in the Autumn Court. Beautiful, callous, powerful, sharp, savvy, and merciless was exactly what he needed there. Plus, it would tie him more tightly to the inner circle, which our lost boy clearly wants. I see you in your Night Court black, Eris. To wit... And then it's, quote, Eris's eyes gleamed with wanton desire as he drank in Nesta's smile, the glow about her. He knew what Nesta might become with a little ambition, the right guidance. And later, when he asked Rhys for her hand, which he does as soon as she starts dancing with Az, lust glazed Eris's eyes, covetous, calculating lust. Cassian swallowed his growl. I mean that whatever you want, I'll give it to you in exchange for her as my bride. He jerked his chin to the box with the dagger at Rhys's feet. I'd rather have her than that. He compares her to a weapon because to Eris, Nesta and the knife can both do the same job. He just knows she'll be better at it. Cassian picks up on it a beat later. From the shadows in his eyes, Cassian knew something more lay beneath the rash offer, something that even Az's spies hadn't picked up on in the Autumn Court. Yeah, because Eris is gay, and so is Az, and his shadows are like, nah, like, no. And then it says, none of that indicates Eris wants Nesta because he's wildly in lust for her. Every time SJM attributes a carnal word to his want, desire, and lust, she twists it to refer to power, ambition, and calculating. There's something going on at the Autumn Court, and Eris wants Nesta as his ally in dealing with it. And I do think that, as far as like a political move, really truly was his motive, was to just basically keep himself within the inner circle and never fall out of being needed by Rhysand at any point. But then I do think it obviously grows deeper with Azriel. But I think on the surface, it was definitely just to make sure that he secured his seat as the High Lord of the Autumn Court. This is after he's seen her manage... Wait, hold on. And Eris wants Nesta as his ally in dealing with it. This is after he's seen her manage himself, help Cassian, and effectively threaten Tamlin at their secret meeting in the Spring Court. He already knew she was good at the game, and at the ball he found out how presentable she is at court and likely guessed how much she'll do out of loyalty. He knows he needs that on his team, and he doesn't hope to live openly in a court that would never accept his rule if he married a male. So he's ready to settle for a teammate instead of a real mate. And then Exhibit D, Fire and Ice, Discord and Order. Opposites attract in YA fantasy. And while ACOTAR was considered YA fantasy, clearly Akasif is not.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it did start out as YA. And Az is frequently described as the coldest of the inner circle. In Akamath, when they're interrogating the Ador, Rhys thinks to himself, people often made the mistake of assuming Cassian was the wilder one, the one who couldn't be tamed. But Cassian was all hot temper that could be used to forge and weld. There was an icy rage in Azriel I had never been able to thaw. Who better to thaw out our iciest bat boy than a Lord of Fire? This one is a bit of a stretch, but I'm adding it in there anyways. Eris, in mythology, is the Greek goddess of chaos and discord, which I think I have talked about briefly. Interestingly, she's given credit for both fighting that destroys and competition that motivates. Side note, she's sidebar. She is most famous for starting the Trojan War by throwing a golden apple, asking which goddess is most beautiful, which I'm betting will see parallels the Autumn Court storyline. Azrael, meanwhile, is the angel of death in the Judeo-Christian tradition, maintaining order by guiding souls into the afterlife, which literally just touched on the Hades and Persephone stuff and Azrael's name meeting. So you guys have heard it from us before. In Islamic tradition, he even helps keep damned souls in hell. So their names both come from paradoxical mythological figures, one showing the benefits of discord, the other showing the bitter side of order. And then Exhibit E, as is adventurous, sexy time antics. Ooh, that's our newest podcast. TM. By now, we all know the Bat Boys used to indulge together with their partners. And SJM has already hinted that Az has had the most adventurous sexual histories of them all. Even so, we've never seen any of Az's lovers. He's been in love with Moore for so long that we're all just assuming he's straight, but don't think it's much of a leap to assume he's bi, and SJM is keeping it under wraps to lead us astray. Or that he's been in love with Moore so long that he assumes he's straight, which that really does happen. You have such a platonic love for somebody that you think that is end all be all, and you might have a attraction to them, but let's be honest, there's been plenty of freaking theys and gays that have been like, wait a minute, oh no, this is not I was wrong. Discovering yourself, it's a journey. Okay, so that he assumes he's straight, and he'll have to grapple with his sexual identity when he starts catching feelings while growling in Eris's face. Bonus, if he has to manage that relationship, it could help Moore feel comfortable talking to him about herself and could repair their friendship, clearing the air before Moore and Emery's story.
Memory.
So yeah. So anyways, that was a fun ride. And so all of those quote unquote crap shit. Honestly.
What is with you and poop today?
This is the poop episode.
God.
But anyways, so Azris, forever and ever, amen. Dear sweet 8-pound infant baby Jesus, please give us Azris as end game, not a crap ship.
What about Gwen?
Forever and ever, amen.
If Gwen isn't related to Tamlin, she could be with Tamlin.
Don't do that to her. Stop doing. No. He's going to like run off into the wilds, stay in his beast form forever.
I don't think he's going to die.
You think he's going to die? Nah. I don't think he's going to die. I think he's going to go on to live a lonely existence, one that he deserves.
I think you need to learn a little thing from our Lord and Savior, Jesus. And it's called forgiveness. There's a whole book about it.
Our Lord and Savior. Don't you Jesus me.
You know what I found today? It's not really like a...
Tell me.
Hang on.
You can't be like, no, what I found? Hold on.
I'm good. I got to Google it to verify that I'm making an assumption.
Oh. You know what happens when you assume? Makes an ass out of you. Not me.
I hate that face.
I know.
You're the worst.
Okay.
So I always assumed that this was just like a crescent moon, but it's really not, because it's like more than a crescent moon, right? Or is it not?
I feel like it's less than a crescent moon. It looks like a coffee stain on it.
So if you Google image a crescent moon, it's only like half. I guess it depends. Apparently, it's really up to interpretation. But you know what this is?
What?
A scythe moon. Do you know what the pack that Sabine is called?
Is it?
It might be Danica. It might be the whole wolf pack in Lunathian.
The whole wolf pack?
Wolf pack.
That whole big wolf pack.
They're called the Scythe Moon Pack. And I was like, oh, I did not remember that.
Why is everything about Danica?
I don't know. Because I don't even like her.
God.
I was looking up stuff about the horn because I listened to this week's episode today.
The French horn?
Yeah, I finished it. And we're like, when you were like trying to convince me that it was from aged born, and I'm like, that is not a thing. It's bone.
God, you know what? Emily is a human, and
I know. I love that.
And I truly was just convinced that maybe this was just something I didn't know. I don't know. We like to talk about a lot of born stuff.
Yeah, I went looking.
But I had you convinced.
You
were like, I'm on board. But I feel if I would have only said it once, you would have said nothing. But because I had to keep saying it, you're like, wait.
I had to, yeah. So I was like just trying to look up in Earth and Blood what they say about it.
Well, I mean, all it is filler.
I could just, if looks could kill, let me tell you.
Because we haven't created an entire podcast about the fact that it's not filler.
Hours of content about how it's not filler.
What if it was one of those situations where I'm just a huge skeptic the entire time? You're like, okay, I'm going to tell you all this. And I'm like, yeah, but it's all filler. It's fluff.
I can't freaking find it now, of course. But I swear I read that and I was like, oh.
I just Googled it. Met 5 years ago as a freshman at Crescent City University. Danica's grandfather is the prime of the Valbarn Wolves. Her mother is Sabine, alpha of the Scythe Moon Pack.
There you go. It might not mean anything. I just thought it was interesting. I'd never heard of a Scythe Moon before, and then I looked it up, and I was like, oh, that's the symbol.
Is it a part of the regular, like, moon cycle? Lunar cycle?
Okay, let's see. I think it's actually called like a moon scythe. It's like a weapon.
It's a sickle moon.
There's a weapon.
Oh, because if I just looked up for... Oh, yes. No, there is. It's a scythe is a weapon. It's basically, it's what, like the Grim Reaper, whenever you see anything with the Grim Reaper.
No, because that's like a half. This is like a full-on circle.
Oh. That looks very Viking-esque.
I'm trying to learn about it.
You're doing a great job. You know so much.
I just don't know why you're such an asshole.
You made me this way.
I just don't know how.
There's no one else. There's no one else. It's you. Have you found anything else about your scythe?
No, but
moon?
Do we know how many pages Flame and Shadow is yet?
I thought it was 1,000. Like,
because if you look at this screenshot, that looks like a big boy.
Oh no, it looks huge. How many pages?
I don't know if that's listed on the pre-order stuff or not.
Flame and Shadow. Oh, it's only 848.
That's it? That's 3 normal people books.
Right. What is it? There's this girl that was on Bookstagram, and she was like, so if I read an over 600 page book, can I count that as 2 books? Because she's like, some of you people out here that are over here reading basically novellas, and I'm over here fully invested in a book bigger than the Bible.
Were you obsessed with the pumpkin that I sent you?
Yes.
Isn't that wild?
Yes. Also very upsetting that it's not in a plastic pumpkin, that it was in a real pumpkin. You're definitely going to be able to get a lot better, obviously, detail in that, but it's, you can't preserve that forever.
I know,
like,
it's crazy.
I would have gotten one of those like styrofoam pumpkins and done it like that, and then just freaking sealed the shit out of that with the clear coat spray paint stuff, and you could sell that in an auction. I would give a kidney for that. What? You only need one.
True.
I need 1 kidney and one of those pumpkins that looks like the Crescent City. And I'm a whole person. Like, there you go. What I lost, I gained. Like, yeah, let's see. Hold on. It took me to Barnes & Noble because I was like, sometimes you find some of those things and you're like, hold on, I don't believe that.
Oh, I haven't seen this. The Importance of Bryce's Star, A Theory by Emily.
Hold on.
I don't know if it's a repost.
If it has anything to do with Bryce's true power, get off of it.
Oh, no. This is talking about how Regalia states that the star in Bryce's chest is a beacon. So the true to the true homeworld of the Fae, Prithian. And then she says in Throne of Glass, SJM also uses the word beacon to describe the Lord of the North and its constellation in the sky.
The King of the North, Jon Snow?
Yeah. Okay. It said if you look up in the sky and you find the Lord of the North constellation, you will always be able to find your way home to Terrasen. All right. I believe that the star in Bryce's chest and the Lord of the North constellation serve the same purpose. The Lord of the North guides Aelin and her people back home to Terrasen, and Bryce's star guides her people back home to Prithian to the Dusk Court. And as a rather poetic foreshadowing of this, in Akasef we are told that the prison island, the Dusk Court, appears to be abandoned. However, it's also said that something great once existed on the island and then vanished, that the island still waited for it to return, which Regelius tells Bryce that she's from... her version of Fae or something, I forget how he says it, is from like an island off the something.
Yes.
He says that.
Yeah. It's a very specific thing that he says to her that insinuates the Dusk Court.
Then in Earth and Blood, whenever Bryce and Hunt are like walking through a garden of flowers, she's not supposed to be there. That's the one this pissed me off. Hunt like decides to go out with his friends for the first time ever, like to the bar, and he's like, just stay here. And she's like, I will. And then like an hour later, she goes off by herself and is like in a garden and then gets attacked by a Crystallis. I'm like, really, Bryce? You couldn't give the man one night off? You just sit your ass down, watch Fangs and Bangs, leave shit be. Anyways.
In your bra and underwear, because that's your calling card. You make the poor man like sweat over you from the top of the building while you're walking around vacuuming in your bra and panties, and just let him go drink a beer.
He literally asked for like, can you please stay here for one night?
Yeah, she's just 3 hours.
Anyways.
3 hours.
Hunt notices this, that the flowers, the garden seems to awaken for her, and this is during dusk, twilight. Bryce possesses Thea's...
Edward and Jacob?
Yes. Okay. Bryce possesses Thea's exact starlight and the light of the Starborn Queen who ruled the prison island, the Dusk Court. The very island that has been waiting for its people to return. Thus, I believe that when Bryce steps foot on the island, it will finally awaken and bloom, the Dusk Court Queen home once again. Oh, that would be so cool.
That would be really cool. That would actually be like very cinematic in my head.
I imagined like Wizard of Oz when it becomes color in the beginning.
No, I understand what you're saying. That's not what I imagined.
I imagine something like that, like everything like comes alive, or like Tafiti, Moana.
Oh, I was thinking like very Avatar.
I've never seen it.
Oh,
I was thinking whenever Moana returns to the heart to Tafiti, and she goes from being a lava monster back to her beautiful flowery sleeping self. Have you never seen Moana?
Yes, I've seen Moana.
Okay, why are you looking at me like?
Well, because I thought you were talking about Moana herself, not.
No, she returns to Ka, the big scary lava monster, and she instead of running away, she like walks up and sticks the heart right in, and then they're like, oh.
Oh, I thought you were calling like the big scary lava monster Moana, and I was like, she never becomes a big scary lava monster.
That's Taka.
That's why I was looking at you like that.
No.
Okay.
I know every word to every song on the soundtrack.
Of course you do.
I'm very good at singing Dwayne Johnson's part too. And
I bet you are.
I'm real good at it.
Okay. And Milo doesn't fart. There's 2 lies in there.
See, you bully me, and you're like, say that I'm mean. I'm not mean. You bully me.
I've just had to learn how to defend myself.
From what?
Everyone. I actually used to be like, I was that kid that would say they were sorry all the time. I could freaking squeak my shoe and be like, sorry. I'm not sorry anymore. Fuckers. Okay. We're spiraling because I almost started reading you this theory, and we cannot do that. We have to save it for another episode. We could go on for 15,000 years.
I got that reference.
Okay. Just like I told you why our episodes drop on Thursday.
Thursday. The day of Thur. For Thur. Of Thur.
By Thur.
There you go.
Thur. Guys, Thur, Hunt.
They get it.
Okay. I didn't know if this was like a Dora the Explorer episode where they're like, say map. And like.
I said it 10 times.
Can you say map? swiper, no swiping. He's swiping your shit. And Boots does nothing. That monkey could rip that fox's face off in the real.
Oh my God, why? You're scary.
Not as scary as that salad fingers. Google search.
Speaking of, I did not eat my giant salad today that I was craving. I'm still craving it. My body is, please eat a vegetable. Please.
You saw the whole box of corn dogs at my house. I'm like, you know what? I'm craving a cucumber. You're like, I want broccoli so bad. And I'm like, look, Casey bought me corn dogs.
I tell you what I want. I want
what I really want.
Yeah.
Tell me what you want. What you really want.
I like the salad bar at Jason's.
Yeah. That's bitchin'.
We should have met there for lunch today. What were we thinking?
Damn it.
I might have to go tomorrow as I want a salad so bad. I also make a pretty good one at home. You ever had the Southwest salad kits from...
Are we on a cruise line and they're getting ready to tell us
my
that we need to go to the
reminder.
muster station?
It's telling me to go to bed. I have an alarm set for tomorrow morning. You should start winding down at 11:30.
What time's your alarm set for in the morning? Because I need to set mine for 5:45.
Absolutely not.
Oh, God, how long is your sleep cycle? Mine's like 3 hours.
I don't know.
That's why I am the way I am. Look, I'm going on vacation with these bags under my eyes. Check it out. Hey, new luggage. I'm miserable.
I really want to get under eye filler.
I'm contemplating it now. No, we had a whole talk about your under eye filler. And I think I cut it all out of this podcast where it was like, I was reading through and I was like, oh man, I really came for her about that under eye.
See, you're mean.
Yep. So my phone battery is at 20% and I'm at 5%. Just myself, my body, because neither one of us are eating vegetables properly. But you bet your ass I ate a GD Ritzy's grilled chicken sandwich and french fries and cheese today.
I had a Happy Meal.
Oh, so I just had the adult version of what you...
And I was like eating the fries. I don't really love it. Warren loves McDonald's, but I do.
Me too, but I haven't had it for 5 years.
I know.
It's
so
hard.
I was like literally eating the fries, and I don't normally eat the fries because I'm like, yeah, these aren't good, but they were like really good today. And I was like, I'm not going to tell Kelly about this because it's really going to hurt her feelings.
Oh, and here we are.
You drug it out of me.
Oh, did I tell you about the one time I walked into my coworker's office and I turned around? She's like, where are you going? And then I just stood in the hallway and I was like, your office smells like McDonald's French fries, you stupid slut. Also, can we talk about...
did I not bring you a chicken tender basket from Dairy Queen with French fries?
Yeah, but it's not McDonald's.
So what's the difference?
That it's McDonald's.
It's just crack.
Yes. It has nothing to do with the French fries. Like, we make like air fried French fries and stuff all the time. It's not French fries. It's...
I thought you were just trying not to eat fries, period.
Okay, I like that you're like, oh, I wasn't going to tell you about French fries, but I was going to tell you about my Happy Meal from McDonald's. That's my real kryptonite.
I wasn't going to tell you about any of it.
Then what? Did you have nugs or a burger?
I had nuggets with their new... the new sauce they have.
I don't know what it is.
Sweet and spicy jam. It's hot. It's hotter. It reminds me of a Polynesian sauce.
That's what I was about to ask you.
But it's like spicy.
Is it? So there's like the Polynesian. We're talking Chick-fil-A Polynesian.
Yeah.
Okay. The Lord's Chicken. Oh my God. Speaking of the Lord's Chicken. So yesterday I sent you that picture of myself where I was eating my spicy chicken sandwich in the Kohl's parking lot because yesterday was a day that I was in my building at work for no more than 45 minutes. And the rest of it, I was running around town getting shit ready for stuff. And so I took that moment to go to Chick-fil-A because I was like, I need the Lord and his chicken to get me through this day.
God, so embarrassing.
Don't get me started about you, you slut. Anyways. And so I'm sitting in the Kohl's parking lot, and also I pulled up and parked in my spot, and then I noticed that I was like facing a car, but they were like off kilter, so they weren't like head on for me. They were just like off to the side. Definitely a woman in there that I'm pretty sure just stared at me the entire time that I ate my chicken. But I'm here to tell you what, right now, that spicy chicken sandwich that I had yesterday was the spiciest chicken sandwich I've ever had from Chick-fil-A. And like my nose was running, and I love like spicy food. And But whoa, man. And so I'm here to tell you right now, rebranding, that it was Satan's chicken yesterday because it was just that hot and spicy, like the fires of hell.
Wow.
And it was delicious, and I'm here for it. And if that's what hell is like, I will just knock down that door and just live in that sin for the rest of my life.
Because it was good?
It was so good.
Oh.
And no, it was so good. Give myself over to Lucifer for that chicken. He was like, I'm gonna reel her in. He's like, she's dipping those fries in that Chick-fil-A sauce. Can't smother this hotness with that Chick-fil-A
Okay, so
sauce.
have you read that book Sign Here?
I have it, but no. I think it was my book of the month or whatever.
Yeah, I've never read it.
Was it about someone eating a spicy chicken sandwich?
No, it's about hell.
Yeah, obviously. There's a pitchfork on the front of it.
Or Kayla from Book Club.
Yeah.
She loves like horror books and stuff.
Yes.
So she was like describing that to us because she loved that book. And she was like telling us that the book, it's like the main character guy, like whenever you go to hell, you have to like, basically it sounds like an MLM. Like you have to like get so many other people committed to hell. But she was like describing how, yeah, she was like describing how there's like different layers of hell. But on one of the layers, like in hell, there's no water. The only beverage to drink is Jägermeister. And she's one of the levels, like everything, it's not bad. It's just like really inconvenient.
Yes,
like,
yes.
It just sounded really funny to me.
It's very much like The Good Place.
I only watched a little bit of that.
I think that we just didn't ever watch the last season.
As soon as they were like, this is the good place. This is the bad place. I was like, oh, I'm bored.
Oh, listen, I just kept waiting for.
Listen, I'm not very good at watching TV.
You're just, you know what? Never mind. That was going to be an impulsive answer. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and use your line and say, you know what? That was growth, because I did not just
growth.
It was growth because I did not flat tell you that
you're not good at anything.
It's not just TV that you're not good at watching. You're not good at anything.
Thanks.
I didn't say it.
You thought it and that was enough.
I stopped myself. It was like an impulsive thought that I was like, nope.
I really don't watch TV ever. I really don't anymore. Occasional movies. I don't know the last time I like sat and watched a TV show. I don't really watch Netflix. I don't watch any of that.
I'll watch like docuseries every once in a while because I'm just very into like true crime and stuff. But
so then I feel like people are like, okay, what do you do? I'm like, if I'm not working, which I work a lot.
Right.
I work for myself, but I love what I do. So I'm constantly thinking about business and working and blah, blah, blah. Or I'm reading. Or I'm...
What are you reading?
I'm learning something.
Hashtag this podcast.
Yeah.
Hashtag a court of theories.
I just signed up for a year of BBC Maestro. It's like the... What?
It's called growth. And
Is it because I said BBC?
Yeah, British Broadcasting.
Why is that so funny, Kelly? Tell the class.
It's like
if you were comfortable enough to write it down, you should be comfortable enough to say it in front of everyone.
You sounded like our teacher that told me my opinion was wrong.
I knew. That's why I did it. Anyways,
listen,
it's like the British version.
I'm comfortable saying it, but you're not.
It's like the British version, not on air.
I didn't say it.
On air. Like we're being broadcast over the waves.
The British Broadcasting.
Shut up. Okay.
Is it company or channel?
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It's the British. They don't know. They don't say. They don't say words right.
It's essentially the British like master. I hate you so much. It's the British masterclass. But I'm taking one by Alan Moore right now about writing, and it's actually very good. But I did masterclass for a while. I did the James Patterson one. I did a couple other writing ones. They were okay. But I didn't feel like anything was like
world changing.
Yeah, I feel like it was like super like high level type stuff. Not
enemies to lovers.
No, it was like super high level type stuff. Like not really. Oh my God. I'm never coming back here.
It's called growth.
It's called boundaries. You'll never see me again. Get a good look.
I thought you were going to say it's called boundaries. You'll never understand. Also that. For myself or for anyone else. Are you reading the acknowledgments in the Crescent City?
I'm looking at her like a lava body. She's Taka. Just kidding. But there's like lava pouring out of her lock.
Yes, we've talked about it.
What was the lava? What did we say about the lava? Did we say about... I know we talked about the lock.
No, yeah, I just remember, oh, look, it's a lock with a heart in it. Or it's a heart-shaped lock.
Is that because she's...
It's Lahaba.
She's Malala Firebringer?
Yeah, I think that was the whole thing, but also it's...
Is it Mala or Malala? What?
Nala?
I don't know.
No, I don't know. That's Lahaba.
I was going to say, am I combining Mala and Lahaba?
Yes, you are.
Malala.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Is there someone famous named Malala? Am I making this up? Why does it sound so familiar? Do I just pronounce Mala's name wrong all the time in my head?
Whenever you read the physical book and it's not the audiobook, that's how you're pronouncing it.
I have to look this up.
Is it M-A-L-A? Oh, an MLM? No.
There is. She's a Pakistan.
Isn't she the one that's literally my name is Malala?
Yes.
Okay.
I was like, that. I know that's someo's name. That sounds so familiar. I thought you were
talking about in Crescent City.
I'm talking about Throne of Glass. I'm just got it wrong. I'm so tired.
Guys, thanks for listening. While Olivia is examining the end papers of her book, whenever we could just look at it on the front of the newly released paperbacks of the same.
I actually opened this to see how many pages it was. How many did you say Flame and Shadow is?
878.
This is 803.
Oh, I swore that whenever they first did it, that they were saying it was going to be over 1,000. While you're looking that up, we're going to wrap things up. Okay. So thanks for listening. Follow us on Instagram or TikTok at A Court of Theories. Become a patron and support the show and pay your spring tithe on Patreon. If you have any unhinged theories, email them at acourtoftheories@gmail.com. You can listen to the show on all your favorite platforms. And I think that's it.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening every Thursday. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Okay, bye.